So, Black Adam, as you know, having some trouble on Rotten Tomatoes with critics, now at 205 reviews, 40% rotten. The movie's got some issues, but there's no way that it's worse than She-Hulk or Rings of Power, which have much, much higher ratings, by the way, particularly She-Hulk, which is, last time I looked, like 90% fresh. That show is not some of the best. That would put that show up there with some of the best television ever made. No, I don't think so. Black Adam comes around, which has some problems, but I don't think it's a 40% rotten. There's much worse out there as far as superhero movies. I think this is a fine popcorn film if you can ignore a couple of the dumb things that happen in it. I don't want to give spoilers because it's the first opening weekend, and it's up to you if you want to see it. I didn't hate my time watching it. I thought it was okay for the most part. There's some big issues in it. There's a dumb young kid character, and he's like the motivation for Black Adam. There's issues, but it's got some good action scenes and some pretty good violence for a comic book movie. I thought it was serviceable, but no way is it 40%. 55%, 60%, I think, is a little bit more fair for a movie like this because at the end of the day, it's just a popcorn movie. And the audience scores are flying in the face of the critics' scores, which I always appreciate because most of these critics are people sitting around in L.A. sipping Starbucks and talking about capitalism. The bunch of clowns. Bunch of clowns. So the real question is it making money? And it would appear that it is making some money. A little bit lower than what I thought. So this is just what it's at now, and this is somewhat estimation. We have a Saturday morning update, and it says this: Black Adam's now expected opening of 60 to 62 million by many measures is a solid start, and this is the best domestic debut for Dwayne Johnson outside of his ensemble movies. Heck, Black Adam looks to even beat the Fast and the Furious spinoff Hobbs and Shaw, in which Johnson co-starred with Jason Statham. That pick opened at 60 million. Now, here's the thing with this. This doesn't include international. This is domestic. And I think it's going to hit 70 domestic. They're saying it's going to make about 14 internationally. I would say 20 is probably a safer guess, which would put the movie around 90 million. If it makes 20 domestic and 70 here, or if it makes 70 domestic and 20 international, that would put it about 90 million, which is an okay opening weekend. That's just short of Marvel's 100-ish million, which is okay. That's okay. I personally think 60 million. So it's not going to do 60. It'll do at least 70 something. That would put it up there with Venom, I believe. So it's an okay, though. I think for a good blockbuster movie needs to make around 100 million, but 100 something million. But we're coming off of a pretty weak box office. In fact, I saw this. Woke movies drive September box office to lowest in 25 years. The box office has been a dud, and it's not because people don't want to go see movies. It's because most of the movies that have come out in September were nothing but woke garbage. A lot of woke garbage that came out. You have a lot of disasters, too, like Bros. This movie, what was this movie? It's the movie that had, I don't know. It's such a failure, though. It had Chris Pine in it. And yeah, Don't Worry, Darling. Don't Worry, Darling. It was a huge disaster. Then you had that ensemble movie, Amsterdam. That was a flop, showing that nobody really cares about star power anymore. The Rock, though, it's not so much that The Rock is in this movie. It's because it's a comic book movie, Black Adam, and The Rock helps it, but no one's like rushing out to see this because The Rock's in it. Though, to be fair, I like that The Rock has been pretty active and giving the fans what they want and always talking about how the fans are great and the fans is what you should be doing for something like this instead of giving them the finger like most celebrities. So I'll give him that. But this movie seems to be doing all right, flying in the face of critics who have no power anymore. This has to eat them up. Imagine, like, you're all behind this. You're saying, oh, 40%. Save your money, peasant. Save it. Don't go see this movie. And everyone's like, nah, fuck you. I'm going to go see this movie anyway. I don't really care what you have to say. I think you're a garbage person. I'm going to go ahead and go see Black Adam anyway. So I think that's funny, and it probably pisses them off because they're all pretty united on this movie, giving it a low score. Some people giving it low scores because it doesn't touch on Middle Eastern politics. It did, though, a little bit because of the intergang that was there in the city. I mean, that's an occupying force. That was a little bit of commentary on America in Iraq in some ways. So I really don't understand why that reviewer put that there. Did he want to see them go for their oil? Like, what more did you want there? That's why I don't get that criticism. Not a lot of messages thrown in your face. There wasn't really a big woke message saying, you need to respect Black Adam's pronouns or anything like that. There is some stupid stuff, though, which is, unforgivable in some ways. I guess I'll give one spoiler away. So if you don't want to know this, I would suggest skipping ahead like a minute just to be safe. But Dr. Fate wants to change fate, so he goes in there and he fights the demon guy. I forget his name because he's a forgettable villain. Like most Marvel movies have forgettable villains. And he goes in there and he's fighting this demon guy, and he decides he's going to take his helmet off and just stand there and let the guy kill him. For no reason, he just takes it. It was really strange and stupid. That is a great example of stupid writing, which this movie has quite a bit of. But it does have some redeeming qualities, and I think you could do worse. I mean, if you want to go see a movie, this is still an okay time. It's up to you. But, yeah, there is some stupid stuff in it, but overly woke bullshit, not in the movie. So I enjoy seeing that fly in the face of critics. I find that hilarious every time it happens. So looking like this will edge close to 100 million internationally. And that means if that happens and it has a little bit of legs at the box office, it does look like it's going to make money. As they note in this article, it looks like this movie will make a profit. That means we'll probably get Man of Steel 2, or whatever they call it. And considering they gave Henry Cavill a curl and the old John Williams theme, I think we might get something special. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed, hit that notification bell, check out my Rumble and Locals. And I realize I just dropped that Superman spoiler without a warning. I apologize, but to be fair, DC Comics media or social media accounts, they're not trying to hide that either. So, sorry. Anyway, peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my Locals.